What's up, preppers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a dip into an often overlooked aspect of prepping, the mindset and philosophy behind it. In many videos I've covered prepping gear and recently physical health, but while having the right gear and supplies is crucial, your mental and psychological preparation can make all the difference in a survival situation. Let's start with stress management. In a crisis, stress levels can skyrocket, affecting your decision-making, performance of tasks, and overall well-being. There are a lot of strategies for dealing with stress, like deep breathing exercises, mindfulness and meditation, physical activity, journaling, social connections, and there is a lot more. Now, understand that not all of these are possible for everyone, but take some of them and try and implement them as part of your routine when dealing with daily stressful situations. And then it'll become an unconscious habit after a while, and you'll naturally start to do it. A good example is smokers often think that going out for a cigarette relieves the pressure of a stressful situation. I know, ex-smoker, but in fact, nicotine is known to heighten stress levels, and that's medically proven. But it's the action of stepping outside, breathing in quiet reflection for 5 or 10 minutes, and then returning to the situation that's the actual solution in that case. So it is that mindfulness. The fact that you're having a cigarette at the same time is by the by. That's not helping the stress, but what you're doing, taking yourself out of that situation for 5 or 10 minutes to go back in, is a stress management technique. I'll often find myself doing that, like I'm going outside for a cigarette, but I don't smoke anymore because I know it works. I also want to highlight journaling, one of the points I made, which I know is a very difficult one. And from experience, I do know it works very well. It gets out bottled up feelings and emotions and helps you to establish the root causes of stress, but it's definitely a discipline to try and do that every day. And that's what I found the hardest, maintaining that. Out of all of these, I found physical activity, or working out as it were, is my go-to for stress. I've found if I have a few weeks off the gym, my stress levels do increase and I don't handle it as well. So see what works for you, start to implement that in day-to-day life now, and when it comes to an SHTF situation, it'll just be an unconscious practice. While you're watching, don't forget, hit like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff, and leave a comment at the end of the video. Next, a prepper's mindset. Now, a prepper mindset, exactly what it says on the tin, to be prepared. It's taking all of the aspects of daily life and making sure we have full control of what we can. You can't have control over everything, but the things you can control, having supplies in, having medical things in, you can. The fear factor, of course, is a major event or a localized disaster commonly referred to in the prepper community as SHTF, or on a grand scale, Teotihuacan, which stands for the end of the world as we know it. Now, that doesn't mean the world's gone. That just means that the wording there is as we know it. So a financial collapse would be the end of the world as we know it currently. A prepper mindset should be all about planning and playing out the what ifs, its scenarios and the worst case scenarios and things like that in their mind, putting plans and items in place to ensure your continued existence and quality of life. I know that's very in a nutshell, but it's all about surviving against huge odds. And of course, the prepper number one rule: don't die. Now, on to ethical considerations, or the philosophy side of things, as it were. So in a crisis, you'll be faced with tough decisions. It's important to establish your own moral compass beforehand. Now, people have very different moral compasses, but get yours aligned before the fact. Ask yourself questions like, how far am I willing to go to protect my family, my home, my belongings? And what can I do to help other people while ensuring my own safety? because balancing self-preservation with compassion is key. We don't want to say be cold and don't help anyone, but there is a fine-tuned balance there. You may have family that doesn't live with you, and despite all your crazy ranting, they're still refusing to prep, and they all think you're a bit woo-hoo, but we can only try. We can only tell them as we see it. We can only give them so many warnings. When it comes to the crunch, you have to choose to help certain people or not to help certain people, and harder still, to accept the fact that they have or may soon perish. This is something that in peace times is not often, and you have mourning time, time to mourn if you lose a loved one. And it's not like, it's rare that it's multiple all at once, apart from disasters and situations like that. But in a true Teotihuacan situation, this is happening all at once, and there's no time to mourn for all your lost family, friends, loved ones, long lost relatives, everyone that you think, oh, I've got them on Facebook, it's fine, I'll talk to them one day. They could all be gone. And being mentally prepared for this is almost an impossible task to ask for anyone. But now's the time to think about the hard decisions, who you're going to go and help, who's going to come to you, who you're going to have to just say, I'm sorry, I hope you do well, and just hope they do the best for themselves. The hard decisions and the consequences have to be made now before some sort of dark fate forces your hand. Do not think that stuff and physical preps and just equipment can make up for your body and your mind. These are your greatest tools and your most precious gifts. You have to look after them both. You have to get them both prepared, physically and mentally. Prepping is not just a side hobby for a lot of people, it's a way of life, and some people on a super serious level. So without going to the extremes, just start to think about the mental side of it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.